Hi everyone, my name is Jen. I'd like to first and foremost welcome you all to this video. Also, I like to give a disclaimer that if you hear any whining in the background, it's my little pup. She is stuck on the couch. She wanted to come over here, but that's a no. So she's not being tortured. Also, I do have a little cold. So please excuse any sniffling. I'll try to keep that to a minimum. So this video is intended to kind of briefly touch upon what Parvo is and focus more on the signs and symptoms of Parvo and what you can do to save your dog or pup that has Parvo. This is also very specific for people that can't afford hospitalization. It is not cheap, but you still want to save your pup. I will give you the home remedies that I use to bring my pup to a better, safer place. So I've actually had Nipsey, that's her name. I've had her for 2 weeks now. I got her March 17th, and March 19th, I took her in to get her first round of vaccine like a responsible parent would, right? Unfortunately, that Saturday, I noticed that she started vomiting a lot. I thought, okay, maybe it's a reaction from the vaccine. I asked a vet tech friend of mine, and she said, no, based on what I'm describing, she doesn't think it's from a reaction of a vaccine. More on that later. So let's go back a little bit. What is Parvo? Parvo is a horrible virus that unfortunately is in our environment. Our dogs cannot avoid it. It doesn't affect us necessarily. However, we can pass it on to our pups. For example, if we come into direct or indirect contact with infected feces from a dog that has Parvo, our dogs can also get it. Let's say you move into an apartment. The owner before you, they had a dog that had Parvo, because the virus can live on a surface for months to years. It could be at dog parks. It could be literally even at the vet that you're taking your pup to get vaccinated. That's where I think my pup picked it up. There could have been a dog there that was affected or infected, sorry. And let's say that vet did not do a good job cleaning their area. Boom, your dog can get it. Because the truth of the matter is, Lysol does not kill Parvo. Pine Sol does not kill Parvo. As much as I love it, Fabuloso does not kill Parvo. Only bleach kills Parvo. Of course, you dilute it with water. So unless the vet is using a chemical that specifically says kills Parvo or bleach, they can do all the mopping they want. The Parvo is still in existence. So that's one important thing to note. Sorry. So I'm not going to go into deep about what Parvo is, because I'm sure all of you want to know how to save your dog versus the scientific background of Parvo. So here are the signs and symptoms. Vomiting. Vomiting can be with blood, without blood, but just continuous vomiting. Let's say they vomit at 5 o'clock, they're vomiting again at 6 o'clock, they're vomiting again at 9 o'clock. That's not normal. On top of that, bloody diarrhea. Sometimes the diarrhea doesn't start off bloody, but as you notice, as they keep pooping, the diarrhea becomes either more liquidy, more red, brighter red, whatever the case may be. You will start to see blood in their feces. Fatigue, lethargic, or depression in your pup or dog. Your dog or pup does not want to do anything. They want to lay around. They don't even want to do the things they used to want to do. That's also a sign. Another sign will be lack of appetite. No matter what you give your dog, it can be their favorite treat. They just don't want to eat. They don't want to drink. This is how Parvo kills your dog. There is no cure for Parvo. However, it attacks the small intestine. So what that means is that it's going to make your dog or pup not want to eat or drink. And think about it. If your dog or pup is not eating or drinking and they're constantly vomiting or having diarrhea, what's happening? They're losing nutrition, they're losing fluids, they're losing electrolytes. That is the perfect combination for death. So a lot of dogs and pups that die from Parvo is not the virus itself that kills them. It's either from dehydration, lack of nutrition, and a secondary infection. So because the virus is attacking their small intestines, it can lead to infection of the blood, which can make your dog experience sepsis, which eventually leads to your dog's death. So what veterinarians do is they actually treat the symptoms, because it's believed that as long as we can keep the dog hydrated, as long as the dog is taking antibiotics, we can give the dog's body time to fight the virus. That is literally how it's done. There's no cure for it. Or you keep your pup at home until they are fully vaccinated with the 3 series expected of them. That way you know they are safe from parvo. Unfortunately, even the best owners, the best parents can still fail, such as myself. I literally took my pup to get vaccinated, right? Great, but guess what? That location didn't do a good job cleaning the area. So in the quest of me taking my pup to get vaccinated, I believe that my pup got parvo at that location. So one important key factor to also saving your pup before you even start the treatment plan is catching it early. My pup started throwing up on Saturday. It wasn't until Sunday around 3 o'clock in the morning that I noticed her bloody diarrhea. Guys, it woke me up. It smelled so bad. I cannot even describe the smell, but if you're going through parvo, if you're going through your dog having parvo right now, you probably know exactly what I mean. It stinks. It literally woke me up from my sleep. So that Sunday morning, she had, I noticed the bloody diarrhea. Saturday, she had vomited about 5 times, once every hour. I was like, no, I'm sorry. This is not normal. Even if I think it's an adverse reaction to the vaccine, I'm not dealing with this. I went to the emergency vet clinic in Arizona. And the vet tech was like, because of COVID-19, I couldn't walk in with her. They're doing curbside assistance. So they came to my car, I took her back in. Before the vet tech left, she said, you know what? We're going to test her for parvo. I had never heard of parvo. And I was like, okay, I'm thinking my pup is having an adverse reaction to her vaccine, but whatever, right? And she said, just based on how good your pup looks, I don't think she has the parvo, but let's just check to make sure. It came back, she has the parvo. But they said I caught it early. And that emergency clinic gave me dewormer. And it was in this container. They gave me 5. And I'm going to read it to you. It's called Panacur Suspension, Panacur. And I asked them, if my dog has parvo, why are you giving them a dewormer? Their notion was, in case she has worms, that's also going to weaken her GI tract. So just to kind of like lessen the situation, they want to kill whatever worms she has. They did not give me any antibiotics at first because they claimed that she looks really healthy. And because she's a pup, they don't want to start giving her antibiotics because she might become antibiotic resistant. To be honest, that didn't sit well with me, because my thing is, if my pup has a viral disease that can literally and will literally kill her, why are we waiting until she gets more sick to give her antibiotics? Let's attack this aggressively. I did not argue. That same day, I gave her the dewormer. It was nicely pre-measured out for me. Monday, she was vomiting and throwing up blood again. Sorry, guys, it's her. And I said, you know what? I am not doing this. Oh, by the way, they charged me $318 for the vet visit, the parvo test, and dewormer. I am a student. That's a lot of money for me. So the next day, I said, I just don't trust it. So I called a bunch of vets, and I found one, Las Sendas Animal Clinic. I love them to death. They are in Mesa, Arizona. And they were surprised that they didn't give me antibiotics, because like I thought we want to be aggressive in this, right? So that vet, God bless her, she gave me so much stuff. And guess what? My total came to $270. She recommended us hospitalizing her. And by the way, they said it was about like $800 to $1,000 a day. I'm sorry. And that's only giving me a 90% like outcome that she'll survive. And that's great. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm paying $800 to $1,000 a day and you can't guarantee me that she will live, that, I don't know how to explain it, but that's crazy. And they said if you take her home, she has about a 70% chance. I would take a 70% chance. Might be stupid in math, but financially, I just didn't have it. If you have that money, please do it. If you don't, this video is for you. So she gave me a few things. She gave me, this is amoxicillin, and it comes in this little container. As you can tell, she finished it. And shoot, my light is very bright. Do you see it? Yes. And along with the amoxicillin, it comes with a little syringe because I cannot measure things. And you give them twice a day, up to 1.5 line, like that. Oop. And then you just squirt it on the side of their mouth with their head tilted back. That way it goes down in their throat and they don't spit it back out. So this one you keep refrigerated and your vet will give this to you. On top of the amoxicillin, she gave me another antibiotic. Oh, you can see it. I'll read it to you. It's metronidazole, metronidazole. That one too, twice a day. So these were the two, I'm coming baby. These were the two antibiotics that she gave me. On top of that, they gave me an anti-nausea injection, Cerinin, Cereine possibly. And that is to help with the nausea to make her want to eat again. I'm gonna go get her, give me a second. Let's see how long she lasts in this video without her crying. So, like I was mentioning earlier, that anti-nausea was just to kind of like help her not feel nauseous and help her want to eat again. So those were the medical aspects of what the vet gave me. Also, the vet told me that, so the vet will give you an option of either outpatient treatment or hospitalization. Like I mentioned before, because we caught hers early, I have the outpatient option. She also gave me subcutaneous IV drip. I had to give her 150 milliliters of IV per day until she feels better. This is because she was not drinking water, and it helped to guarantee that she was being hydrated. However, in case you cannot get that, what you can do is you can get a syringe, and then to be honest, I was waking up every hour and a half to give her fluids. So similar with that syringe, once you get it, I'm going to show you how I did it. You open their mouth like that, and then you put it in the side of their mouth. That way it goes down in their throat. And guys, I did not sleep for a week, to be honest. That one, I did it every hour and a half. I was waking up, and the syringe I used was 5 milliliters like length. I was giving her that, about 6 of those syringes every hour and a half to 2 hours. Also, even though I gave her the IV drip 150 per day, that doesn't mean that's all you give her, or them, sorry. I was still giving her those syringes constantly. On top of that, guys, remember when you vomit and have diarrhea, you're also losing electrolytes. So Pedialyte unflavored is your best friend. Give her the Pedialyte, honestly, more than the water, only because it has electrolytes. So like you're getting the best of both worlds. And make it unflavored only because you don't want it to have color in case your pup has allergies or is sensitive, or just the taste is gross. So the unflavored has no taste, and that should be good. The vet also gave me some wet food that's like for stressed dogs, and that one, she wouldn't eat it. But like I said, you got to be aggressive if you want to save your pup. So I actually blended it It was already wet. Don't use the hard food. It was already wet and it was good for her GI system. I blended it to make it very, very liquidy. Add a little bit of water. And once it became very liquidy, once again, put in my syringe, boop, shot in her mouth. Even if they guzzle down just 3 syringes, do that. Do that maybe every chance you get. Attempt to give them more, because once again, remember, we're fighting the symptoms until your pup gets better. Also, I gave her this. It's Purina Pro Plan Veterinarian Diets. It's a probiotic. It's powder form. So all you do is you put it into a bowl or a cup, add some water. I added less water because I wanted her to ingest more of the actual powder. And this is a probiotic. Once again, it helps to kind of add those healthy bacteria to their GI system. To add, and I actually got a recommendation from the vet on this one, I went ahead, and you don't have to get this specific brand, but just make sure that it is non-fat, plain, and ideally Greek yogurt. Once again, the probiotic aspect, even though yogurt is pretty soft, I blended it and added some water to make it even more watery, just so I can put it into the syringe. Like I mentioned, water, Pedialyte, unflavored, your best friend, honestly. So those are the things I did, and I did this constantly. She got sick, let's say Saturday afternoon around 2:30. She started feeling so much better Friday morning, so 6 days later. That is the ordeal of everything. And one thing I would add is, once I knew she got tested positive for Parvo, I stopped taking her outside. That means, this might sound really nasty, but I got a bunch of dog pads, and she pees. Of course, I put in designated areas in my apartment, but she pees and poos there because right now, during her sickness phase, I did not want to carry her outside, put her down on the ground, and make her go about her business because her immune system is weak. I did not allow anyone to come over, anyone with dogs at home to come over. 1, because I didn't want her to get reinfected, and 2, because I didn't want her to infect their animals. If you do get the subcutaneous fluid, your vet will show you how to do it. There's actually YouTube videos on it. Pretty much you pick up their loose skin, you make a little hole, like a tent, and then you shoot in the center. I could not do that. I'm sorry, no. Luckily, my vet tech friend Laura, she actually came over and did it for me for the past 3 days. And then prior to her, I had some neighbors in the community. It was so funny. 2 women literally come and help me because I just couldn't do it. And one awesome tip for the Serinine, the anti-nausea injection, it stings a lot. So one thing Laura did was, after you put the subcutaneous IV in them, your vet will let you know how much milliliters to give them. It's gonna make a little camel hump. That's normal. She actually injected her with the anti-nausea in the camel hump because that helped to prevent the pup from feeling as much pain. So that's an awesome tip that she gave me. Guys, Parvo is very terrifying. It's very scary, and this is recommendations that I had that worked for me. But once again, it all depends on the severity of your dog's Parvo. Like I said, when I noticed the vomiting and the vomiting and diarrhea, I took her in right away. So less than 24 hours later. If it has been 2 or 3 days, the vet can tell you honestly, because of how severe it is, you have to hospitalize her. At the end of the day, follow the vet. But honestly, if you do what is recommended, you also have the chance of saving your pup. Your pup is going to fight you on eating and drinking. I'm sorry, you're the adult, you're the parent, you're the owner. Force it because they don't know any better. Let me know if you have any other recommendations, but here she is, Nipsey. She is a 2-month-old English bulldog. and I love her so much, and she's doing so much better. She lost a lot of weight, but she's already gained it back because I started feeding her about 3 to 4 times a day, including giving her the Greek yogurt, only because she lost weight, and I just want her to get back to a healthy state. So in the past week, we have not been outside. Because of COVID-19, I have classes online, but I just don't want to infect anyone else. So what happens is when she poops inside, I immediately pick it up with gloves, of course. I put it in a plastic bag, seal that plastic bag before putting it in my garbage bag. Also, bleach. I mop. When she got diagnosed, when we came home, I bleached my whole apartment. You're gonna have to do that too. Pure bleach. I use Clorox. I just want it to be, I'm not bougie, but I just trust Clorox. And you dilute it with water. I mopped my whole floor and everything like that. So that will be my advice. Is that also I threw away her bedding. I'm sorry, her life is more important to me than the bed I bought her. I threw it away because they said there's a risk that the virus can still linger in their bedding, their toys, and that's why she plays with water bottles now, because after all the amount I spent, even on the outpatient option, she has to wait a little bit to get more toys. One thing I will say is that the reason why I probably spent a little bit more is that I took her to the emergency because I was terrified. But if you have a vet, take them to the vet. Don't go to the emergency. They charge you more and didn't give me much besides empty warmer. So the vet was about $318, and the emergency was about $318, and her actual vet that I found for her was about $270. And then I took her in this past Friday to get her checked up to make sure, and the vet says she looks amazing. That was about $45. So under $700, right? But it could have been under $400 if I had a vet for her. My other advice, before you get a pup, or if you have one now, make sure they have a vet. That way you can go straight to the vet and skip the emergency. Like, it is so expensive to go the emergency route. So I hope this helped. Sorry I talk really fast, but if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm actually very proud of her for being still. Okay, well, good luck, guys. I wish you all the best, and I hope that your beloved dog or pup definitely overcomes Parvo, because this fighter definitely did. Last thing before I forget is I prayed. I'm sorry. I believe in prayer, and I prayed for her. I whispered in her ears, you can do this, fight. I gave her lots of kisses and snuggles, because I believe that by them also seeing how much you need them, it kind of helps them also fight. Don't leave them by themselves. I slept on the couch with her during this past 6 days just so I can be there when she needed to vomit, when she had to get up to go poop. All that helps them to feel not alone. So please give your dog lots of love, attention, and just words of affirmation. Okay, bye guys.